Have you ever found yourself asking, what is my true self? In today's world, the search for self-identity is something that many people are deeply invested in. The quest for understanding one's value, role, and true essence is something that drives countless individuals to explore various paths. However, for many, this journey leads to confusion and frustration, as the answers remain elusive. In this video, we will explore the Buddhist perspective on discovering your true self and offer insights that may guide you towards the deeper understanding you seek. Through these teachings, we hope to shed light on the path to recognizing who you truly are and how to embrace your most authentic self. The search for self-identity. The concept of self often gets entangled with external labels, titles, roles, or how we are perceived by society. But true selfhood goes beyond the surface. It isn't defined by societal expectations or other people's opinions. Instead, it resides within, in a space far beyond the titles we hold or the roles we play. Buddhism teaches that the self is not a fixed entity, but a dynamic, ever-changing process. It is not something that can be grasped, defined, or owned, but rather something that we must continuously understand through experience and introspection. This constant evolution of self can be perplexing, but it is through this journey of self-exploration that we truly come to understand who we are. The illusion of a fixed self. In Buddhism, the concept of self is understood as fluid and impermanent. We are not a fixed entity, but rather a collection of experiences, emotions, and influences that continuously shift and evolve. The Buddha teaches that clinging to a permanent self leads to suffering, as we strive to maintain an identity that is inherently transient. For many of us, the search for the real me involves grasping for something solid, something that feels stable in an otherwise unpredictable world. However, true wisdom comes when we accept the impermanence of our identity and embrace the fluid nature of who we are. Rather than clinging to an idea of self, Buddhism invites us to open ourselves to the possibility that we are constantly changing, learning, and growing. Exploring the true self through self-inquiry. If the true self is not a fixed concept, how can we discover who we really are? The key lies in self-inquiry, asking ourselves profound questions that lead us to uncover deeper layers of our being. For example, ask yourself, who am I beyond my roles and responsibilities? What are the core values that truly guide my life? What have my past experiences taught me about who I am? If I could let go of all external expectations, what would I truly desire? These questions, though simple, open the door to profound insights. By examining your values, experiences, and desires, you begin the process of peeling away the layers that have built up around your true self. Letting go of external expectations. In today's world, especially with the rise of social media, there is an overwhelming pressure to present a certain version of ourselves to the world. We are constantly seeking validation, comparing ourselves to others, and measuring our worth based on external factors. This is where many of us become lost, as we define ourselves through the lens of others' opinions. Buddhism teaches us to detach from this cycle of comparison and validation. True liberation comes when we stop trying to prove ourselves and begin to embrace who we are without external judgment. By letting go of societal expectations and embracing our own inner truth, we begin to free ourselves from the chains of self-doubt and external validation. The role of mindfulness in self-discovery. One of the most powerful tools in Buddhism for discovering the true self is mindfulness. Mindfulness allows us to become fully present in each moment and observe our thoughts, feelings, and actions without judgment. By practicing mindfulness, we create space for self-awareness and self-acceptance. This practice encourages us to stop chasing after a fixed identity and instead become fully aware of the ever-changing nature of who we are. Through mindfulness, we can start to observe how our thoughts, emotions, and desires influence our perception of self. Instead of identifying with every fleeting thought, we can recognize that these thoughts are just passing phenomena, temporary and not the essence of who we are. The paradox of finding your true self. Buddhism teaches that the more we search for something, the more elusive it becomes. The search for the true self can often be a paradox. The harder we try to define or grasp our identity, the more we distance ourselves from it. This is because the act of searching itself can sometimes cloud our perception. In many ways, the key to discovering our true self lies in letting go of the search altogether. When we stop grasping for a fixed identity and allow ourselves to simply be, we begin to realize that our true self is not something to be found, but something to be experienced. It is in the act of letting go that we come to understand who we truly are. Embracing impermanence. Buddhism's core teaching of impermanence, anicca, teaches us that nothing lasts forever, neither our circumstances nor our identities. This includes the concept of self. By accepting impermanence, we can let go of the need to cling to a fixed self and instead embrace the fluid, ever-evolving nature of who we are. Our true self is not something static. It is a process that unfolds over time. By practicing acceptance of change and impermanence, we free ourselves from the fear of loss and the anxiety of trying to hold on to something that is always shifting. Embracing this impermanence allows us to be more at peace with ourselves and with the world around us. The mirror of the mind. Buddhism often uses the metaphor of a mirror to describe the process of self-realization. Just as a mirror reflects an image, our minds reflect our inner truths. However, the mirror of the mind can become clouded by thoughts, emotions, and desires. To truly see ourselves, we must clear the mind of distractions and observe our inner state with clarity and honesty. This is where mindfulness and meditation play a crucial role. Through meditation, we can clear the dust that clouds our inner mirror and begin to see ourselves as we truly are. This process is not about achieving perfection, but about accepting and understanding our true nature, which is ever-changing, impermanent, and interconnected with all things. The role of suffering in self-discovery. Buddhism teaches that suffering is an inevitable part of life, but it is also an essential part of the process of self-discovery. Through our struggles and challenges, we are often forced to confront the aspects of ourselves that we may otherwise avoid. These painful experiences provide us with the opportunity to grow, learn, and discover what truly matters to us. Rather than avoiding or resisting suffering, Buddhism teaches us to embrace it as a teacher. Suffering invites us to look deeper into ourselves and ask the difficult questions. Why am I suffering? What is this pain trying to teach me? What can I learn from this experience? Through this process, we discover more about ourselves than we ever could through moments of comfort. The journey of self-realization. The journey to discovering your true self is not a destination, but a process. It is a continuous unfolding, shaped by the experiences, challenges, and growth that we encounter along the way. In Buddhism, the idea of bodhisattva represents this journey, an enlightened being who continues to evolve and help others on their path, even after reaching enlightenment. In the same way, our own journey of self-discovery is an ongoing process. We must remain open, humble, and committed to learning. As we continue on this path, we may encounter moments of clarity, moments of doubt, and moments of growth. But each step, whether forward or backward, brings us closer to the truth of who we are. Conclusion: embrace your authentic self. Ultimately, discovering your true self is not about reaching a fixed point, but about embracing the journey. It is about accepting that your true self is constantly evolving, shaped by your experiences and your willingness to be open to change. Through self-inquiry, mindfulness, and acceptance of impermanence, you can begin to uncover the layers that conceal your authentic self. Remember, your true self is not something you find outside of yourself. It is something you uncover within. By letting go of external validation, embracing impermanence, and accepting yourself as you are, you will begin to experience the peace and clarity that comes from knowing your true essence. Final thought. How can you begin to embrace your true self today? Ask yourself, what is the one small step I can take today to be more authentic and true to myself? Take that step and let your journey of self-realization begin. Thank you for watching, and may your journey toward discovering your true self be full of insight, growth, and peace.